First story: Strange security guard, or the longest prank ever. I worked in a shopping center. Every morning I have to take the store off the alarm system and sign for the opening with the guard, and my shifts always fell on one very strange guard. He was a chubby little man, medium height, short haircut, silent, shy as hell. He did not like to say hello. His handshake was still so loose, with a limp hand, as if I was the first person who said hello to him in this life. However, after half a year he himself began to pull my hand. He learned. Apparently I bored him, and he overstepped his complexes. Sometimes he tried to joke, but his jokes were not funny. But I still pretended that it was funny, did not want to offend the dude. In general, I signed his lock for opening and closing the store, morning and evening, for 2 years. And one day it happened that my colleague and I were late, and we were closing the store together. That day the security guy was on shift. My colleague closes the roller shutters, seals the store, and I sign for the closing. I say goodbye to the guard, shake his hand, and we go with my colleague to the parking lot. I ask my colleague, "Why didn't you say goodbye to the guard?" He replies, "I did. I told her goodbye." Her? Well, yeah, it's a woman. I was so ashamed. I was ready to fall through the ground. Oh my God, what a shame. I've been shaking her hand for 2 years. I'd ask her shit in the morning like, "What's with the puffy face? Did you get drunk last night?" I remember seeing her ring and saying, "Did you find a bride? When's the wedding?" There were a million inadequate dialogues that I can't remember. I can't even imagine what she was thinking about me the whole time. In general, I then, for a long time, was still ashamed and uncomfortable in front of her. But for a hand, we continued to say hello, because I did not know how to get out of this situation. Teeny in a word. I didn't mean it like that. It just happened. P.S. She had a name tag with her first and last name on it, all of that time. Second story, about SX outside of a relationship. No, SX outside of a relationship should be illegal. Men should only walk. Are you even allowed to J off? For teenagers, yeah. But for yourself? Third story, Lauda, Flash. My wife and my sister's husband went to the store to buy groceries. They took a lot of food, so there were a lot of boxes. My sister's husband has a bad back, so they asked the loader to help load the boxes. The loader, a smiling young guy, easily agreed, quickly loaded the boxes into the trunk of the car. They were driving home, talking, not looking around. Suddenly, knocking on the window. Agree that the knock on the window is the last thing you expect when the car is moving on the road. My sister's husband hit the brakes in surprise. Frightened eyes look out the side window, and there, Lauder, standing there smiling. He says, "You forgot one box in the store." Turns out, when he found the box, the car had already left. There was only one road around the block, so he ran straight through the yards. When he saw the car go by, he knocked on the window. Fear was quickly replaced by laughter. They went back to the store, took the box. The loader refused to take the money, as the store manager said about him. "He's very good, hard-working, diligent, doesn't drink, doesn't smoke." Fourth story, how people who speak 4 languages serve curtains, or how parents ruin their children's lives. My mom has a co-worker who has a daughter, Name, who I've always looked up to as an example. The girl is just a smart girl. Finished school with a gold medal. Went to the city. They live in the village, to tutors. Took online courses. Worked from morning till night. By 11th grade, more or less fluently spoke 4 languages. She learned English on a bet, when her older sister told her, "What is your German? English is much more difficult," and she learned English. She finished school, went to our country capital, entered the university, on the faculty related to international relations. I don't remember how exactly it is called. She graduated with a red diploma. She got a job with no problems in a large international firm, where in the capital. About 4 years ago, I saw her mom. She said name was called to work in London in some big company. I said, what a good girl. And in response, I get, what a good girl? I raise her, but she's don't care. Mother abandoned, lives in her city, comes once a week only. 350 kilometers for a minute. Every weekend spends on the road. And, by the way, a lot of help to mother and older sister financially. And now in London gathered. Even then I was surprised at her mother's reaction. The other day I remembered about her. When I called my mom, I said, how's Naim living in London? Mom says, no. Her mother convinced her. Defiantly fainted, sobbing into the tube that ungrateful. Abandoned her mother. Naim refused the offer. Abandoned the firm in the capital. Returned to her native village with a population of 4,600 people. Lives with her mother, grandmother and sister. And here is a year saving at home. She tried tutoring. It didn't go well. Children don't really want to study languages in such a smallest of the world, and there is nothing to be found by profession. But her mom is happy. I don't know what's in the mind of parents like that. I don't know what's in the minds of children who sacrifice everything to please those parents, and I guess I'll never know. Fifth story, in reply to what's in their heads. About 15 years ago I had a friend. We were about 16 to 17 years old, and one day she said that she really likes one guy, and she, in case they have a mutual sympathy, wants to be, so to speak, in all arms. So she asked me to teach her how to kiss. Quite a strange request, because then I accept for soccer in the yard with the boys was not interesting in anything, and professional in kissing I was clearly not. But of course I agreed, and after some number of kissing sessions, she admitted that this guy was me. Quite a clever move. Sixth story. Now you see me. Our version. I have a classmate, Naim. Naim is very hot-tempered, and is always looking for justice. He easily argued with teachers if they were wrong, and even once argued with the principal, when he tried to force us, school children, to make repairs in the gym. With Naim's permission, I want to tell this story. Naim was drafted into the army. He packed his things, came with the others to the specified place. There were 3 hours left before the train to the military unit, where he was to live for a year. A lieutenant comes up to the recruits and says, listen up, you all have to put your things in the closet, and when the train comes, you'll get your things back. Why can't we look after our things ourselves? Naim asked. That's the rules, but you don't piss off. Here's the key. I'll lock the door and no mouse will get through. Everything will be clean. No options. They put their stuff into the closet, and the lieutenant locked it. It's time to go. The lieutenant opens the closet, and it's empty. Among the things were soap and water and food, and it's a week on the train. Everybody is confused. Some are sad, because they realize they'll have to starve for a week. Somebody stole the stuff, said the lieutenant with a smile. But don't piss off. Pies will be sold on the train. Delicious. And you can buy soap and linen at the army shop. Now get on the train. We're not going anywhere. Call the police, says Naim. Why the police? The lieutenant turned white. Because the thief should be in jail. Call the police, guys, said Naim, and all the recruits smiled a little. Some of them hoped that they could get another year out of the army. Don't need the police, the lieutenant started to say. Why distract good people from their work? I'll look for them myself. The thieves couldn't have gotten far. Then the lieutenant started playing detective. He looked under every bench. This circus goes on for about 5 minutes. Then the lieutenant opens the next room with his own key. That's where all the stuff was. The rats, the lieutenant started yelling. They stole your stuff and wanted to take it back tonight. I'll show them. The things were found. The police were not called. They were selling pies on the train. Only one potato pie cost $3.50. One guy bought a pie from that sales girl and regretted it because he found a long black hair in the pie. The army store really sold soap and linen, but it cost 5 times as much there as it did in the civilian market. Seventh story. Chamomile tea. When I was 25 years old, I moved to another city for work, loneliness, and I began to go on dates, getting acquainted through the internet. Paid for myself, always by myself. And after 5 minutes it became clear to get further communication or not. Appointed dates always in the same cafe, and the table at the window was usually free. Developed the following tactics. Say hello, chat, just about 5 minutes, make an order. And here I either ordered something to eat or tea with chamomile. This was my tactical fallback move. I drank my tea and politely bowed out. On one of my dates, the guy was late, showed up, held himself arrogantly, showed me the watch on his arm, the amount of cash in his wallet, voiced his job title, car and something else, and then he snapped his fingers in the air and said something like, "Hey, poor guy," calling the waiter. Next, the waiter, who has witnessed almost all of my dates, comes over. Me, waiter, W, guy, G. W, good evening, ready to order? G, yes, I'll have the pasta, salad and whiskey. Me, I don't know. W, how about some chamomile tea? Me, with pleasure, and the bill please. 8th story, in response to, fired for a smile. I'm an accountant too, but I'm a bad worker. I never overwork. If I'm sick, I take sick leave. I take sick leave with the baby too. If I'm tired, I take a vacation. I only do what's in my job description. I don't bust my ass to earn the approval of my bosses. As soon as I get off work, I forget all about it. On vacation, I never pick up the phone for work-related issues. And guess what? I'm doing fine. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe.